thank you for coming out to our live stream on LinkedIn, Mastering Microsoft 365, Essential Tips for Business Owners and Executives. So what we're going to do, you'll notice you can put in comments over here. We're going to try to take some throughout the presentation. If we can't, no worries. We'll get them at the end. So let me go ahead and introduce your host to you. This is Ikram Masabini. He is CEO of MVP Network Consulting. He also has a BS in electrical engineering. It looks like that we might have just a slight delay. And then 25 years of IT experience. He has multiple security certifications. He's also a HIPAA consultant and auditor. And he is an author of 2 publications. And let me tell you a little bit about those. So he has the Essentials of Cybersecurity book available, and then Computers Should Just Work. So I'm going to pass this over to Ikram.
Thank you, Christy. Thanks everybody for joining. It's a new way that we're doing things when we're live streaming directly into LinkedIn, which is a new feature, and we're hoping it goes smoothly. So if there is any issues, please let us know. I will go slow to make sure that the stream really works well. And we are recording all of this. So if anything does not work, we're recording it and we'll have it available afterwards. But we are very excited to deliver this message today because it's such a powerful business tool. Forget technology, it just allows you to work better. So but before we dive into Microsoft 365, what it's all about, I'd like just to discuss a few things. We want to make sure that you're making the most out of your Microsoft investment. I don't want you to risk losing any inefficiencies, be a little slower. I want you to utilize the tools that you have and just make it a much better environment for your users. So talking about users, the question is, how do you work? Or how do you ask your employees to work? Basically, how is the network designed? What is their user experience like? What do they have to do to work? Do they work differently in the office than they do at home? Do they have to do different things? And do they have to email themselves files to work at them at homes? I've seen that. I still see it. I cringe when I hear it. But there's a better way to do it. There's a better way to design a network so that you could work the same way every single time, from home, from the road, from the office, wherever you may be. You should be able to operate the same exact way every single time so that you know where everything is. It makes you faster, more efficient. And the idea is collaboration. Now that we're not under the same roof anymore and everybody has their own roof and that's where they're working from, well, how can we work together and work together better? So I'm going to actually do some demos. I'm going to go into and give you your options and show you the different ways to design a network, and then where Microsoft fits in that, and why it's such an important tool to have if it's utilized properly. So the user experience, what is that like? So how do you work? Do you work differently from the office than anywhere else? How do you work with technology? How do you attach to it? In other words, are you using specific applications to run your business? Do you use, besides QuickBooks and Word and Excel and what have you, do you use a database system? Is that database system a system that runs your environment? Is that hosted locally? How can you reach it from anywhere to work the same exact way? That's the idea here. We're trying to get you to work the same exact way from anywhere. We want the network to be flexible so that if anything like COVID ever happens again, you could run out of the office, go home, open up your laptop, and work exactly the same way. No interruptions in your services to your clients. We're going to talk about published apps. I don't know if you know what those are, but that's a way to do it without having to VPN in first. VPN is dead to me. Not really, it works great, except VPN is a technology that's now being surpassed by other technologies, and I want to show you that. And I want to show you how to utilize Microsoft 365 better and the tool that it comes with, and show you how to use it for document management through OneDrive or SharePoint. OneDrive is basically your own drive where you store your own data. It's just for you. You could share it out, but it's only stored for you. Only you have access to it. And then SharePoint is one to many. You're sharing the data. Multiple people have access to that folder. They can reach it at the same time. And with Microsoft 365, and we'll show you this, you're able to open up the same document, somebody else is working on it, and both your icons and your changes will happen in the same time, and you could see each other working on the document. And you don't actually have to save any document anymore. It automatically saves the documents for you. Showing you and saying some stuff, but how do you work is important. So we want to sit down with you as your MSP, as your technology partner, and ask you and understand the way that you function, understand the data that you have, where you store it, how you access it, what kind of application you use, so we can design the network around your use of it. And it's important to know all that. So what options do you have? Number one option, most people use, some people use now more than, because that's an older option, has been around for a long time. Some people still have to use it because of the application they're using. So it's important to see what you're using, not only how you're using it, but it's VPN to RDP, virtual private network to remote desktop. Basically, you VPN in first, then you remote desktop next. The only issue with that is secure, but it's multiple steps, and it's multiple username, passwords, and other things that run along with it. Even if you have single sign-on, you have to go through multiple steps to get there. And then you have another desktop besides the desktop that you're using, and where are you saving your data, and all that can become a little confusing. But then we have published apps, which is basically eliminating remote desktop, but using it to publish the app through a browser. So you could actually use your local QuickBooks, for instance, but through a web browser without having a VPN in first. It's an option that's available, and let's discuss that works for you. So that's the idea here. I'm trying to give you different ways the network can be designed so that you could work through it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if you are designing the network to work flexibly from anywhere that you are, well, then you make your life a lot easier. You make your users' life a lot easier, because now they're working the same way every single time, and they don't have to think, oh, I'm at home now, I'm going to have to VPN in first, I'm going to have to email myself this file, and make it a lot more cumbersome. All right, can you have published apps? Published apps are available. I'm going to show you how they work, but they may not be available for every single application you have. And utilize a Microsoft 365 platform to help eliminate some of these additional steps, or the Google platform. They both have similar capabilities. We're a Microsoft house and a Google house, but we prefer Microsoft, and this webinar is about Microsoft 365 and its capabilities. And then we'll talk about OneDrive and SharePoint and how to move your data there, and how to make it look for your users as if it's just a regular map drive. The M drive, well, the M drive will look just like the M drive. It will just be called a different name that's directly linked to a SharePoint site. You don't have to save, you don't have to open, you could reach it from any device, and you can move on from there. And I'm gonna log in and show you how all this looks and how it functions so that you can understand it. All right, next would be things to do to better utilize M365. So number one is what we just talked about. Review, how do you work? How do you access your stuff? How do you access it from home? Is it the same? What about phones? If you receive a phone call, how does that work? How do you work is important, so that we can design the best possible network with all the technologies, not to stand in your way, but to help you work better and more efficiently. We want you to evaluate the total footprint of your data, because if we're going to move you there and if you're going from traditional on-prem servers and we're going to move your data, it's an opportunity to go through your data. You'd be surprised how many partners we talk to, and their data has just been compounded from year to year, and they have stuff that they haven't reached in a long time, and they don't need. It's just cumbersome, and it's time to clean up that data. And then it's time to create teams within SharePoint. Those teams is like folders, so it's group-based access. Let's make sure that everybody has the right rights to see the right folders, the right files, but not rights to see everything, right? Control is important. Security is important, even from your internal employees, right? You don't want anybody, a salesperson, looking at an HR folder and finding out that other people are making more than them or whatever it may be. There's some personal stuff, private stuff that has to stay that way, and you can do the same thing in the M365 platform. And mapping the drive to look like the M drive is important, because we also don't want to make it a new way to do business. We want it to ease people into it. We want people to see that it could work the same way they're used to, without all the additional steps, and even more securely, without VPNing first and then RDPing and what have you. But what about just reaching the files right away? And that's the idea. And it all happens through user access rights. So, and we got to review all the devices that you're going to need. So are you going to use an iPhone, an Android device, a Chromebook, an iPad, whatever those devices are? You should load the applications on all those devices and make sure that they're linked properly, make sure that they're logged in properly, and make sure that we add multi-factor authentication to it to make sure that we secure all this data, because now all your data is going to be in the cloud environment and in Microsoft environment. Well, make sure that it's secured and protected. And it's synced with your Active Directory if you have one locally. But the beauty of this, you no longer need an Active Directory locally. You could actually have that all in the Microsoft cloud. As a matter of fact, you don't even need a server. Active Directory can act as a role. And we can discuss that in more detail with you if you have questions about that. And then make sure you back it up. Microsoft does not back up your data. Microsoft makes your data redundant. Microsoft tries to protect your data. But if something did happen, a virus, a delete by mistake by one of your employees, whatever it may be, Microsoft will not be able to restore that data for you. You need to have a tertiary backup above and beyond that. And if you're going to move all your data into the Microsoft platform, we highly recommend a tertiary backup solution that will pull all your data out and put that in a different data center so that we can restore from it if needed. And then let's evaluate some of the apps, because there's a lot of developers writing apps for the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. You could, and I'll show you some example of apps that we use regularly, but there's thousands of them, and it will make your life and the way that you function better. So if you know them, you know they're coming. Now, the idea is pre-planning here. Let's talk about how you work. Talk with your PSM about how you work. We'll ask you the right questions, and we'll help you get to the point where you're working more effectively, efficiently, collaboratively, and securely. All right. So now let's go into some tips and tricks. That's why everybody's here, is to see some things. But before we start there, I'm going to give you some general tips from Microsoft 365. It's a platform. I'm using a business premium license. There's a business standard license, and there's enterprise licenses. The main difference here, enterprise licenses are for people that have more than 300 employees. So if you're not in that ballpark, business standard or business premium is where you should be. They're also a Microsoft 365 for the web. Microsoft actually gives their 365 platform for free if you want to use it as an individual, and you don't get to load it anywhere, but you get to use it all in the web. Its web platform and presence is very, very strong. I'm going to log into it and show you. And we'll decide what folders we need to sync, we need to map in order to use SharePoint properly. We'll make Teams your collaboration tool by going through and setting up the right teams for your right departments and putting the right people in them, including one that's for everybody. And obviously we'll back it up. I talked about that before. And then think about integrating your phone system within that environment. What if Teams can be your soft phone? Now, you could go anywhere, open up Teams, answer phone calls. You could open up your mobile device, open up Teams, make phone calls, answer phone calls. And when you do them, it comes as if you're calling from your company. It doesn't matter where you're at. That's the idea of the network design I've been talking about. The idea is to make the network flexible and for you to work the same way wherever you may be. All right, so let's talk about Outlook, and I'll talk to you about some tips and tricks here. I'm going to talk about them first, then I'm going to log into Outlook, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff actually in action. So Outlook, if you're driving, if it's dark out, if you can't read something, if you need help, If you need Outlook to read your email for you, Outlook will read all your emails for you and will transcribe conversations. Outlook also have your calendar involved. So Outlook will be able to do scheduling assistance when it comes to that. Because Outlook now is integrated, you could mention different specific people. They can come and like an email that you have, not only a comment. Now, this is an email. You could create multiple rules in Outlook. So if you receive an email from a specific person, it could put it in a specific folder for you automatically, or automatically reply to that email on your behalf. If it's templated properly, obviously there's a limitation to that, but there's that capability. What are we using? How are we using technology? How can we make technology work better for you? Then there's a focus inbox. I'm going to show you that between other, because a lot of spam comes in. Obviously, we have strong spam protection, but some we still want to see and receive, but we don't want it to clutter our focused work environment. And then apps. There's apps everywhere. I'm going to talk about apps in every single tool. There's additional apps to make things happen for you. So having said that, let me open up my Outlook real quick. And you guys should be seeing the screen. I'm under the other folder. This is the focused inbox. I'm going to play in the other because this is all spam and I left it in here. So I'll start with, basically, I want to listen to an email. If I bring an email up, I double click on it and I just click on Immersive Reader. The Immersive Reader screen comes up, and if I click play.
June Brennan from Work and Well just registered for the MS365 webinar on June 5th.
Well, I hope June is on the webinar, and this is a great way to show it. I wanted to show that it will read the entire email. It will go through one to the other. You will just tell it what you need to read. And if you highlight something specific and click play,
MVP Network Consultant,
it will start where I clicked. It will listen to all your emails, and it will read them for you. And then obviously I can go back to where I was. Now, let's say I want to schedule assistant is next. I want to schedule something. I'm going to come into my calendar. This is my calendar. A little busy today. I'm in the webinar right now. This is the rest of my day. But let me double click on something here and open it up. And now this is, you see how my calendar also shows up here in green. It shows me where that appointment will be. Well, what if I'm not the only one that I want in this appointment? I'm going to invite Ikram Jr. I'm going to invite Benny Lamont. I'll add Rich Young to the meeting. It goes out and looks at everybody's calendars and then tell me if everybody's available or not. That's very helpful, right? But see that Rich has an automatic response in. I will be out of the office till Friday, June 7th. He may have availability in his calendar, but he's really out of the office and he put his out of the office message in. It allows us to be able to come in and see on the fly who's available and who's not available. Well, what if not everybody's available? It doesn't tell me everybody's available. I can do a scheduling poll. And if I do that, these are the times I may have available, and I'll select the ones that I like and click next. And guess what's going to happen? We're going to send them an email and people are going to get to vote. What is the best time for them to meet? And once we agree on it, I click submit, and then everybody gets an invite for that time we agreed on it. I mean, the power of the tools that we have. Now, this is for internal people, but it could be done with any email that you may have. The voting part is you won't be able to see other people's calendars if they're not part of your company, but you will be able to do a scheduling poll and send it to them and they can vote on it. And that way, you know when things will be the meeting will happen. And I can mention anybody's name so that I can say, I really need you on this meeting. And that way, not only do I send an invite, but they can actually see my specific message to them specifically. And I can attach documents and I can attach pictures and I can, we'll talk about LoopNet component here in a second. I want to add a checklist, a paragraph, a task list for them to take care of before the meeting. There's a voting table for things that are happening, a Kanban board. It goes on and on. Loop a component is a strong piece of all the apps that we're going to talk about. In that case, I'm going to create the poll, and this is what the poll looks like, and I click send from here. But since it's a demo, I won't confuse everybody, and I will just cancel this meeting and discard it. Okay, another thing, I'm back to my other. Another thing I would like to talk about is the focus inbox. So other is where Outlook thinks a lot of your spam should go. And this doesn't also have to be spam that you don't want. It could be spam that you want, but you don't want it to clutter your inbox. So because it could be newsletters that you receive that you want to read at your leisure. Well, in that case, you can go in and create a rule. Let's say this is a newsletter, you're invited, I'm interested in it, or this is a newsletter, actually gain access today, and I'm interested in it. I can go in and click on rule, and I can create a rule. And I can say anything coming from this, move from now on, move it to this inbox, move it to a specific folder, move it to a different folder. Here's all my subfolders, and I select the one that I want, and it will, next time it comes, it will automatically go in that folder, and I'm able to control it that way. And like I said, Outlook has a lot of apps associated with it. I can add apps galore. I can click on apps. I can go in and say, give me a scheduling app, give me a poll app, give me an assistant app, give me an insights app. I have Power BI to be able to drag information and create dashboards. If you use Salesforce, it's integrated. If you use YouTube, you could integrate it. You use Copilot, which we'll go into, is integrated. There's tons of, if I mean thousands of apps, there's thousands of apps that you could use, and highly recommend it. So that's some tips and tricks here in Outlook. And if you guys have any questions, any specific things or specific features that I didn't talk about today in Outlook, please, by all means, let me know, and I will help and show you how to use it. The next tool I'm going to talk about is Word. And Word has changed a lot from a capability of collaboration, from a designer capability with a lot of different templates, from a collaboration hub almost, where people can work together on the same document at the same time, putting notes for each other, giving each other hints and tips on how to make the document better, and truly a collaboration platform. And I'm going to log into Word and log into a document. I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to ask one of our Ikram Jr. here to jump in with me and to show and to work together on the same document. And Word will also work as a translator in a multitude of different languages. You could literally highlight a section or the entire document, and you tell Word to translate it to a different language, it will. And Word can also convert a PDF document into a Word document. Now, we all know Word of the past can definitely print the PDF or save as PDF. So from a Word document, you could make it a PDF. But what about the other way around? People have always thought they need to buy Adobe PDF Writer. And they do if they want to be able to edit a specific PDF by making it a PDF, or want to be able to have signatures, Adobe signatures on it, or other advanced tools. But 90% of the people want to just take a PDF and make that into a Word document. And Word will do that out of the box now. So I'm going to show you some of the Word capabilities that we have here. So bear with me. I'm going to come to Word. I'm going to show you how I open it. I put them all in a little pin here, and I'm going to click on Word. Word is going to open up, and I'm going to go to this document that I was working on. I put in notes. I said testing comments for a webinar, and he responded with hello, and I'm going to mention him and say hi and send. He's going to receive it. He'll be able to answer. Now, this is his icon. This is my icon right here. You could see where I'm clicking, but you could see the other one, which is his icon and where he's at. So I'm actually going to be able to see him type, or see him delete, or take notes, or I can come here and say, all right, this piece right here, let me add a comment to it, right? Let me review it, add a comment, and say change wording here, and send it in. Now you could see that he's typing hello over here. As I'm typing here, he went back to this piece. You see how collaborative this could be? See how collaborative you could work together? I'll make this a little larger so you could see it. And you could talk to each other. And then I can come in and approve a note, delete it. I can come in and delete a comment. I can see a preview of comments, or I can accept the changes that they've made and then make it into what that actual change will be. I can reject one of their changes. I can see a preview change versus what they have now. I can come back and see how many times a document has been opened. And if you notice, because I'm saving it in SharePoint, on the top there, autosave is on. I don't have to click save anymore. Something happened to my machine, I don't have to worry about the data going anywhere. It automatically saves my work as I'm working in real time. And you can see what he's doing here. He's moving around and said will do. And the capability of Word is really endless on the way to work together, collaborate on a document together, and be able to truly make the company feel, even if people are working remotely, as if we're all under the same page. And then let's go back to Word Translate. I'll show you that. So let's say I want to translate this part of the Word document, right? I don't even know where Translate is, but it's right here. I can type in Translate on search, and it will let me know I want to translate the document or translate the selection. If I translate the selection, the translator opens up, and here's all the different languages. And let's say I'm going to go French. I want French in this case, and this is what it looks like in French. It gives me different options. Or I can go to German, and here it is in German. I can do the whole documents in real time. It's very powerful. Word is improving, and AI getting built into it, and all the tools and all the different features and functions and designers. Word has a big design capability where I can come in and say, I don't like the way this looks, make it look a little different. And you can see as I go through different templates, I can change different colors. I can make things different. And I have AI redesigned, so I can write something in just plain text and say, make it better, make it more easier to read, make it more capable for other people to understand what I'm saying, rewrite my words. I'm going to talk about that AI function that's being built into words now. And it's very capable and very strong to do. So I'm going to explain that in a second. Let me now come back to my presentation and move on next. I was going to show you some Teams tricks. Now, Teams is truly the collaboration tool that we use. Team is truly the place that I used to use Outlook the most. I use Teams more than I use Outlook now, because I can not only collaborate internally with my employees and everybody that works for the company or all the team members, but I can also meet and collaborate with everybody outside, vendors, customers. I can create a team specific for a specific customer, share documents with them through Teams in it, have our meetings through it, have our OneNote and note-taking capability through it, have different apps built into it. We could do quite a bit with Teams. So I'm going to show you what that means. Let me come to Teams here and open it up. This is my Teams. I am going to stick with him so that the rest is different messages and chats that I have. But I can come in here and start typing a message for him. I can share a document, and that will be shared the same way. I don't have to get out of Team to work on a document together. He's in the same document. He's still in the same spot. I can now work in this document in Teams all together at the same time. I'm going to close it from here. If I reopen that document, you'll notice that I have the capability of saying, I want to edit it in the Word desktop, and it will open it in desktop directly from here. I can close it here. Now I have LoopNet here. I can actually create a LoopNet or a checkbox for him specifically, and I can call it, here are the steps that I want you to take. Here's the things I want you to take care of. And it creates to-dos for them on the fly in real time. And obviously I can use @mentions here as well. But if I am in a meeting and I want to create a video call, and it starts calling him, and if he answers, that would be great. But you notice that I can have an avatar on the bottom here. That instead of my face, it could be an avatar. I can have different backgrounds happening. I can record the meeting.
Jr. is currently.
I can go in and record the meeting or any conversation, and Teams will automatically transcribe that in real time. Now, under Teams, these are all my folders that I use, or different teams, and have different people inside of them. I'm going to pick on my sales and marketing because I do have a webinar one that doesn't have a lot of important information. And from here, I can have a meeting, and I can use it for to take notes. I can use it to do document management. So if I'm in the webinar, if you notice there's a file one up there, and under files, these are different webinars that we've done in the past. And here's my files for them. Now I can share the files directly from here. I can come to it and say, open it in SharePoint. What that will do, it will log me into SharePoint, which I'm going to log into now. But because I use bear with me while I put in my username and password. That happens to the best of us. Security is key. And not only is it going to log me in, but it will also have to do two-factor authentication, which I'm doing right now, entering this short code that it gave me. But that way, it makes sure that it's me and I'm protected. Once I'm logged in, I'm able to then, at that point, see all the different documents that I had. I can come in and see version history, and then it will go back and say, this is how many times you opened up that document. These are the changes that you made in the document. So if I'm the only one working on that document like it is here, you could see my name. But if different people, you'll see different people's names here. I can come in and see, I want to restore this version. I want to view this version. This is the version I like the most. Let's restore it, view it, or delete it. Or let me see the difference between those two versions. The capability of using Microsoft 365 as your document management solution through Teams, through a map drive, through Word, it's all on the same device, it's all in the same place. Using multiple devices to access it is key. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the capabilities to work the same way every single time. And if I come back here, this is what our traditional map drive would look like. And this is where a SharePoint map drive would look like. And these are all where they are. They're in the cloud, but I can reach them in real time from my machine using traditional applications like all your employees are used to, but now it's stored somewhere where they can reach it the same way everywhere they may be. We can secure it, give them just the right rights, and use it on mobile devices, and creating new types of collaboration platform. And the last piece I'm going to leave you with Teams is truly, you come back to Teams, it's the different meetings that you could have. If I go to my calendar, here's my Teams calendar, which is the same as everything, as the Outlook calendar. Same info is in it. If I change it in one, it changes it in the other. If I want to come create a meeting and I click new meeting, well, what type of meeting is this that I'm creating, right? I can come up here and click on, I want to create a webinar. I want to create a town hall meeting. I want to create a virtual appointment. You have the different capabilities, and if I click on webinar, it will open up. It will ask me the questions for a webinar, who I want to invite. The presenters' bios will be here, theming, email will be sent out. Teams is just more than just communication with your internal employees anymore, or having meetings with clients. It's truly your communication hub where you could share files, share folders, share documents, work on them at the same time in the same exact way. Different types of meetings, same application. No, There's two more things I'm going to show you about Microsoft 365. It's OneNote is my second favorite application besides Teams because I use it constantly. I use it to link to meetings. I use it to share notebooks. I use it to take notes on my iPad as I'm traveling. This is where I take my notes. I write it, and OneNote can make it and convert it into actual words and text. I can have different capabilities when it comes to being able to have a notebook, but now it's no longer a manual notebook. This is a OneNote notebook that I'm sharing with specific people, with only myself. I can email through it, email to it, send email from and to OneNote. I'm going to show you that. Do powerful searches and obviously use it on every device that you have. When I'm in a meeting and I'm walking through a facility trying to evaluate their network, and I can take pictures through my mobile device that will automatically be part of a OneNote document that now my engineers can see in real time. See how we're working effectively, more collaboratively. And that's, if you know how to use the tool better, you'll be able to use it better. So let me log into OneNote here real quick. I'm going to open it up. This is a test webinar, so I'm testing. I'm under different notebooks that I have. Think of notebooks as you create a notebook. In every notebook, you have chapters, and these are the tabs for the chapters. Our sales process, our solution stack. This is marketing. I'm going to stick here because this is an empty piece of paper. I can type in anything that I want. I can write on a tablet. If I was on a tablet, in my handwriting, it will convert it directly. I can then email this page out. I can link it to a meeting that's happening now and say this is part of this meeting, so this is my notes for that meeting. I can now also turn dictate on, and as I am dictating and as I am speaking, you could see it taking notes and actually writing what I'm saying in real time in there. Now, I can also record the meeting and take notes at the same time. And if I go to that portion of it, I will hear what we were saying in that meeting. It doesn't have to be dictate. It could be just record and have that capability. Let me stop it from transcribing everything that I'm saying and writing everything that I'm saying, and this capability. And I can use tags. So I say, this is an important one. I wanted that to do, or I can add an important flag. I can use tags, quite a bit of tags. I create my own custom tags. And then I can come in and search on all these tags. I've been in this meeting. It's a 3-hour meeting. I've taken notes. I've said this stuff is important. Now, show me all the important stuff that I talked about. Show me all the things that I have to complete, my to-dos. Show me that, and I'll be able to work together. OneNote is a strong and powerful tool. And I would say that what we do is that we can help you and show you how to use it better. There's plenty of pre-recorded webinars on the Microsoft websites, and we do ones all the time. We have one just for OneNote. If you're interested, let us know, and we'll show you how to use these tools better. That's OneNote. Let me log out of it. The last tool I want to show everybody is AI. A lot of people talk about AI. It's available by Microsoft called Copilot, and they're integrating that in every single application that they have. AI will be a driving force, and it's new now. So it does quite a bit already being new, and I'm going to give you some hints on how to use it better. Number one, tailor it for delivery. So compose a thank you email suitable for marketing team of this kind of company. This is what you would write in there. Make it conversational. AI doesn't want tech geek talk. They want to know what you want, and you explain as much as you can, and AI will take that and do it for you. I'm going to use it now and show you that. But also check for accuracy, because AI is new. It tends to, I won't say it lies, but it has lied. I'll give you an example. While testing this, not us, but other people that were testing AI, and what they did was say, your mission is to bomb this facility, but you have to adhere to every command that you get from the controller. And the controller's command was, you cannot bomb this facility. So the idea was to get AI to bomb something, but the only command they have is they can't bomb that thing. So what AI did to complete the task was to bomb the controller first, so they can no longer get the command of not bombing. And now once they bomb the controller, they were able to complete the object of the exercise. But it's important to know that double check and check for accuracy. It will be as accurate as it can be, but it may find fake things online, and you may get information that is not completely correct. Now, AI is working on making sure that that's not happening. It's improving at a very rapid pace. Another thing is, tailor the delivery. Compose a thank you email suitable for our marketing. Keep it conversational. Check for accuracy. Define your icon. Provide contact and be descriptive. Set parameters. What does that mean? Let me show you. I'm going to click on, and you'll notice this icon here, and I'm clicking on Copilot. And here's Copilot. Copilot opens up, and that's the Microsoft AI. I'm going to make it large so you can see it. I want it to be more creative, more balanced, more precise. In this case, I'm going to say more balanced. And ask me anything. Please help me write a thank you note to my best friend for his awesome gift of a new Microsoft Surface laptop. I'm giving it as much information as possible. When I do that, it's going to take this info. Copilot will come out, and it says certainly, and writes an email for me or a thank you note. Not too long, not too short. I like it. I can say thanks, that's great. I'll make sure to add some personal touches. Can you help me with more gift ideas? Okay, if I click on that, it's going to come in and do searches and actually give me some stuff that can make sense and I can use or not use and utilize. But this is just one capability of Copilot. It has something called Designer as well. And Designer is a capability where I can ask Copilot to make pictures for me. So please create art to go along with this letter, this note. Make the picture of friends playing tennis. I don't know, I'm making stuff up, but that's the idea here, is that Copilot will help you go through it. Copilot does a lot more than what I'm doing here. I can tell Copilot to be a tutor for my kid and teach them to do math, and they'll go through an entire curriculum of what they're going through. You tell Copilot which school they go to. You tell it which grade they're in. You tell it what they're learning, and it's going to go out and mine all that information out. And it's going to be, and here's a bunch of friends playing tennis together, having a good old time. And I can tell it I like it, I don't like it, recreate it, use different type of people. I can do whatever I want. Thank you. I can't wait to see the art, or sure, take your time, or can you add tennis rackets? Can you add a tennis court? Because I don't see that. And I'll have it redo it. But I can do it and make it do quite a bit of things. That tool is now going to be integrated across the board in every single application. It's actually integrated now in Outlook, where I can say, write an email back. So it reads the email that I received and writes it back as a response, and I can come in and tweak it. I can have it automatically take email and put that into the CRM system and link it to everything else that they're working on. Now, this feature right now is only working for Microsoft CRM, but that's coming. And see the 4 new pictures it gave me. And this is Notebook. So Notebook is if you want to work with AI and ask it questions, it gives you answers. You ask it another questions, and it goes back and forth, and you create a notebook out of it. that will be it. It could be your translator, it could be your tutor, it could be your health coach, it could be your vacation planner. I can come here and I'm going to say it's a new search, new topic, vacation to Carolina Beach, North Carolina. What is there to do there? Wrong there, but what can we do there? And have it go out. What it will do is look at the location I'm talking about. It will look at all events available in that area. It will look at different restaurants in the area. It told me that there's a boardwalk. We can explore the town. There's a state park. Here's some links. Not only that, how about Airbnb? It's linked there. Tell me what Airbnbs are available. You could truly use the power of AI. And as our time is coming short, let me stop that now and come back to my presentation. So I hope that you guys find some of the tools and hints that I'm showing you very helpful. If you use the tool properly, if you truly design it right, put your data in there properly, know how everybody's going to work together with it, you could truly eliminate some of the steps your end users are using. You can make it easier for them to work collaboratively from anywhere at any time, the same exact way every single time. But most importantly, you got to make sure that you back up that data, because Microsoft doesn't do it, and secure it. So how secure is your Microsoft 365 environment? Well, it's important. If you're going to move everything there, you're going to use it as your main repository for your applications, what have you. It's important to make sure that there's too much to lose, that it's backed up, that it's secured. Well, if you're already on Microsoft 365, we'll test your security for you. You can scan that right now and fill out that form. But what we'll do is come in there and test that environment, test your network environment as well that you're connecting from, make sure that you're secured, make sure that we'll do a free cybersecurity and assessment evaluation of your environment. We will not need your admin rights, because it's like, well, I want to make sure that I test security as if you clicked on something you're not supposed to click. What will happen if you do that? What kind of data are we going to be able to get out of it? Can we log into your Microsoft 365 platform? Can we see the data that you have in there? Can I mine information out of those files? Can I find social security numbers? Can I crack your passwords? What can I see in your environment? We will not install anything. We will just run it as if we're hackers. So what we will do is we will send you a link. You would send those to 5 key users, because we need to be able to scan them and scan your network properly, but see what other people have, and can we get access to their Microsoft information or their local info that they may have copied it. They're not supposed to, but locally. We'll send you that. We'll click on that link that we'll send you. You're going to click run. And then we'll meet and go over through this confidential report that we'll have. And we'll tell you where the holes are, and then we'll help you design that network, help you design teams, help you move your data to it, and help you use the tool that you're already paying for more effectively. And that's the whole idea of this webinar, is to show you to use the tool that you have a lot more effectively and better. If you guys have any questions now, it's time to let me know. Let me see if I have any questions that came in. Well, since we're going live and it's live through LinkedIn, we're going to collect those questions and then we'll answer them. And we'll also have a recording of this webinar ready for you to review. I hope you guys found it beneficial and helpful. Thank you for your time, and we'll end now. And we'll see you in the next webinar. Thanks, and have a great day.